Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy, Mr. Cheap Sense here. Actually, just waking up. Not too long ago, my phone was going off due to all these videos that people are putting out. Ash from Gent Sense just did one where he ordered some fragrances from Wish just to test them out and see what you're getting or what you're not getting, which was an interesting video. And I actually watched one or two videos before that of people ordering fragrances from Wish, and I wasn't gonna say anything. I wasn't even gonna do the review of the fragrances that I ordered from Wish, but since it's starting to become kind of a trend and it's almost like a warning to people why not to order from Wish fragrances. I'm not a huge fan of Wish, to be honest. I mean, I've ordered some things from Wish. I've ordered some sexual type stuff when I did have a girlfriend, that some of it turned out pretty good. Some of it was pretty cheap, like some of the sex toys and stuff like that, vibrators and stuff for women. Some of that stuff lasted. Some of them, it broke down within the first few days. You can tell some of the quality on the clothing and stuff like that aren't the best. Sometimes you can get some pretty decent stuff on there, but for the most part, I'm not a huge supporter of Wish. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of money buying a bunch of stuff that's going to break down or tear up, as soon as you get it unboxed. Sometimes you don't even get it unboxed or unwrapped and it's already broken. And it is coming from overseas. I'm guessing like China or something like that. But anyway, just to give you guys a heads up, sometime soon in the near future, I do have a package coming, and it was a 3-pack of Creed fragrances. It was Creed Aventus. I think it was Silver Mountain Water, and I want to say Millesime Imperial, but I'm not totally sure. But I know all 3 bottles were like a 30 ml bottle, and it was in a 3-pack, just to test it out. And from what I've seen so far from Ash from Gent Sense, and the other reviewers, that they don't smell like the originals. You can tell the shitty, piss poor quality of the bottles and the boxes and the wrapping, and some boxes do look almost identical. Some of the bottles are close, but you can tell by the writing, the spacing on some, that it's not authentic whatsoever. But it's gonna be fun just doing a review. So just keep in mind, guys, I do have some fake Creed coming in just to see what it smells like on this end. Everybody else is like higher end reviewers, so we're gonna do it on this level for the guys like me who can't afford those expensive fragrances, just to try it out, see what happens. I'm bringing you guys my top 10 most complimented fragrances, and my guy Ozzy over at Ozzy Fragrances just did a review. I just watched it like literally seconds ago, and he did his, I think it was the top 5, I think, or something like that, most complimented fragrances. So I'm gonna give you guys 10, and these are not gonna be all obvious. Like, some people go in their collection and they pick up the obvious stuff. They gonna pick up Dior Sauvage, they gonna pick up Bleu de Chanel, they gonna pick up Pineapple Vintage and stuff like that. I have some of those fragrances, but I'm not gonna put them on this list due to the fact that most of them I just got. I've never worn them yet. So I'm gonna go with what I have in my collection that I know for a fact got me not one compliment, but multiple compliments. So this is not something I've worn one time and then one person told me throughout a whole 8-hour, or for me, 13-hour shift, because I work 2 jobs, one 5 hours in the evening and one 8 hours. So not fragrances that got me just one compliment, got me multiple compliments. And I do have a few honorable mentions, and this is where we're gonna start. So first up, excuse me, a cheapie from the house of Tommy Hilfiger. This is Tommy Endless Blue. And the day I wore this one to work, I got a lot of compliments while wearing this one. So this is my first honorable mention. If you don't have Endless Blue, it's a very nice smelling fragrance. It almost has the same kind of silhouette or hue as Dior Sauvage. That dark at the top and light at the bottom. And I can't smell anything, so yeah, very nice, kind of sophisticated smelling fragrance. Does have some sweetness to it. I don't remember the note breakdowns on this, but I got a lot of compliments when I wore this one to work, from older women and younger women. People kept telling me I smelled good. What was that I was wearing? So Tommy Hilfiger's Tommy Endless Blue. Next up is a super cheapie. Of course, this is going to be a clone of Dior Sauvage, and I didn't have Sauvage at first. I do have it up on the shelf here. One of my subscribers sent it to me. The mayor of Detroit. Got to give my man a shout out. He sent me quite a few fragrances. But this one came from Walmart, and this was like between $5 and $7, $8. And this is Primitive Man. And this is supposed to be a clone also of Dior Sauvage. And believe it or not, the first day I wore this, I got a whole house load of compliments. I wore this to my mom's house the first day I ever got it, and I think I'm going to pass this one on to my stepdaddy. Today, matter of fact, I might stop by there. But anyway, I bought this one because I could not afford Dior Sauvage, and it is still pricey to this day. It's a very popular fragrance, very crowd pleasing. This one smells similar to it. The performance is not bad on this at all. It does give you that Dior Sauvage vibe, not as sharp. It's a little bit more toned down, but for about $7, $8 at Walmart, you can't beat it. I went to my mom's house that day, and as soon as I walked in the door, my nieces, my two young nieces, they told me that I smelled good. The sister, not the one that's right under me, it's another one just under her, told me I smelled good. My stepdaddy and my mama said I smelled good. I think I did wear this to work, and I got compliments off of it also. I'm not 100% sure, but just the compliments from my mom's house, just those 1, 2, 4, 5 people, that was enough to solidify to me that this smells good. So I'll pass this one over to my stepdad, because I did tell him that day I wore it over there that if it turned out to be pretty good, I'll get him a bottle. So I'll just give him this one. And last but not least, I have a whole house of fragrances. And last but not least, and hope I don't drop any of these, the house of Playboy. Every last single one of these Playboy fragrances, I got a lot of compliments. I mean, lots of compliments when I wore these to work. I mean, I could not turn a corner without somebody telling me I smelled good. Playboy VIP. And if you guys don't know about these fragrances, you better get to checking them out, do some homework, because I always thought these were some of the most cheap fragrances, and I never owned any when I was younger. And for some reason, I started seeing these at Bell's, which is right across the street. And I think it's like the equivalent of Burke's, if you have a Burke's in your area. But it's pretty much just like TJ Maxx and Ross, one of those discount type stores. But I seen a lot of these on the shelves, and I just started trying them. Like, they're open, they're not closed, they don't have cellophane on them. So you can just go in, open the box up, and just spray the hell out of them. And I actually like them. And y'all know that I love sweet fragrances, and every last one of these has sweet aspects to them. They either have something tropical in them, something chocolate, something fruity. All of these are nice. And like I said, I got mad compliments. This is VIP. We have Play It Wild. Oh, that's nice. That is real nice. We have Hashtag Generation. And all of these are in the same type bottles. The only one I have that's smaller is the next one, which is Playboy London. Very nice. That's the smaller bottle. And most of these have more than one variation of bottle. So I don't know if there's a difference in the fragrance between the bottles being different, but the ones I have are very nice. And the last one I have is Playboy New York. And all of these are not expensive at all. You can find these, like I said, at Bell's. Sometimes Ross and TJ Maxx. I know you can find these at Burlington. I'm not sure about Marshall's, but these run you usually between $4.99 up to about $7, $8, maybe $9, depending on where you buy them from. You know, if things are popular selling off the shelves, price does seem to go up just a tad bit. So with that being said, guys, Playboy. Now let's get to this list. Now I have 9 fragrances on this counter, but this is a top 10 list. The last one is gonna be the one that I think I got the most reaction out of. I don't own that one anymore. I think I traded it or sold it to, no, I traded it to somebody. And I can easily find another one. They're always around at Ross. So we'll get to that one when we get to it. First up, one that you're not going to expect me to have in my list, because when people think of compliment getters, they always think of the high-end stuff or the stuff that's most notable that everybody talks about. This one, the only other person I've seen actually talk about this one that I'm subscribed to is my guy Trey Sense, and he is probably the reason why I picked this one up, because he talked about it. And if I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure he'll let me know. But this is from the house of Kenneth Cole. This is Blue. And my kids rarely compliment me on fragrances unless it's something that they really like. And I went to my ex-wife's sister's house, which is where my son and my daughter was at a few days throughout the summer. And I went to go pick up, I think I went to go pick up my son to take them to go do something one day. And I walked into their room, excuse me, and instantly my son was like, because he has asthma, and I think he's pretty much growing out of it now, but when I walked into the room, he said, "Whatever you got on, Daddy, it smells good." And this is what it was, that Endless Blue. I mean, not Endless Blue, I'm thinking about that Tommy fragrance. Blue. I'm not sure exactly what the notes are. I think there's like a fruity, like watermelon or something that's in this. I don't know what it is, but I've worn this twice so far, and this smells good. It smells really good. So if you don't own this one, this is pretty inexpensive, about between 10, it's in between the $10 to $15 mark, I believe it was. It wasn't expensive at all. Next up is a decant. I don't have a full bottle of this one yet. Hopefully soon I'll have it. I've done a review on this fragrance before, and the the feedback I got the day I wore this fragrance, not with this decant that I have now, but when I initially wore it, when I had the smaller decant, people were in an uproar everywhere I walked throughout the hospital, down the hallways, and anywhere. People were telling me how good I was smelling, what was I wearing. I told the story of the one young lady who says she gets headaches and she sneezes a lot and stuff like that because of certain colognes. And she said whatever, because I was cleaning her carpet in her office. She said whatever I was wearing is agreeing with her, and she wants to try to get it for her husband. And so I gave her what was left of the sample I had. Well, somebody was generous enough to send me another bigger decant of Casino Royal Nights from the house of Dior. And if you don't own this fragrance, this is one I can vouch for. You must have in your collection. If you like sweet, if you like fruity type fragrances, this is the one you need to get, guys. Casino Royal Nights. This is an absolute banger. Yes, you're going to pay about $60 for a 30 ml bottle, but I think it's well worth it, especially with the compliments you're going to get off of this one. So, Casino Royal Nights. I was never a Lacoste fan, especially with the clothes, because back in the day I couldn't afford that kind of stuff. I had a job, but my priorities were more towards my vehicle. When I was in high school, I got my first vehicle. I started working at Winn-Dixie as a produce guy. I made pretty decent money for what it was worth back in the day. In the 90s, I had one old school, I think it was like an old school big ass Grand Marquise, and something was wrong with the transmission. It was leaking transmission fluid. My mom took it back to the place. They fixed the transmission leak. It started leaking oil. They fixed the oil leak. Then the transmission started leaking. So finally we just left it alone. And I ended up from Alpha Motors getting a Ford Contour 2-door. It was silver with red interior. And I used to love that car to death. And that's what my money was going towards, paying my car insurance and paying my car note. And I didn't have a lot of fancy clothes back in the day. I used a lot of last year stuff for the new year, which didn't matter to me. Back then, I was not really a social type guy. I had friends, but I wasn't very popular. I got on the basketball team, which did give me a little bit of popularity, but I still was not the best dresser. I didn't wear cologne back then. So with that being said, I couldn't afford Lacoste. I couldn't afford Polo. I couldn't afford a lot of duck head and stuff. You know, the clothing that people used to wear back in the day. I had a lot of off-brand stuff. So when I found this fragrance, I didn't know much about it. And luckily at Ross, sometimes if the box doesn't have cellophane on it, they will unbox it for me and let me smell some of the fragrances. So I opened this one in the store and sprayed it on a piece of paper, and I let some women smell it. One of them was a classmate. What's happening, Bunky? I know she will never see this video, but one of the most beautiful classmates that I had going in school. I had a big crush on her, but obviously she didn't feel the same way about me. But anyway, I sprayed this. She liked it. The ladies, the cashiers that were in the store liked it. Some other customers that was passing by when I sprayed it liked it. And so I got it. And this is it goes by several different names. It is from the L1212 line from Lacoste. This is called Lacoste Blanc, or Lacoste White Blanc, or Lacoste White, or Lacoste Pure Blanc, or Pure or whatever, whichever one you want to use. I just call it Lacoste White. Very citrusy, fresh, clean as hell type fragrance. This is one of them fragrances that you go out and you buy the Lacoste shirt. You get you some cargo, you get you some shorts. I don't wear the ones that come above the knees, but you get you some nice shorts to go with that polo style Lacoste shirt. Some nice shoes, and you spray this on in the summer and the springtime, and people are gonna notice you. I wore this to work, and people were going ape shit over the fact that I smelled so good. I found this one, it was like $39.99 at Ross. So if you run across this particular one, now I don't know much about the red, the yellow, the black, the blue, none of that. I know some of them do have good notes, but the videos and reviews I've heard and seen, they don't talk that good about those, and you rarely hear anybody mention any of those fragrances. They just mentioned this one. So if you find this one for a reasonable price, I think it's well worth the pickup. L1212 Pure White Blanc, whichever one you want to call it. Next up is one a lot of you guys may not have heard of. This one came from our Perfume World store that used to be in the mall. It is now closed down, as is damn near everything else in our sorry ass mall. This is from the Imperial line. Collection Privé Paris. This is Imperial #1. And I remember the first time I wore this one to my friend's job. She works at a hotel, and I walked into the lobby, and every single female that was in there was talking about what I had on. And she was getting kind of pissed at the fact that I came up there smelling so good. And she said this was her favorite fragrance. I don't know what it is now. I may have to do another video and let her pick out what her favorite one is and, you know, review that one. But these I paid, I think, $45 for. I went online and looked it up, and I could have got these for cheaper being a dummy, but I don't fool with eBay and stuff like that. So if you guys do and you find these at a reasonable price, no more than $45, pick these up. I have this one. I have, what is it? Imperial number. I'm pretty sure there are more than just these three, but these are the three that I have that smell good as hell. I have #1, which is the one I picked out of all three of these. That's the best to me. #4, and #4 actually gives you the same kind of vibe as Lacoste. It's in the same vein, but I like this one better than Lacoste. But I didn't put this one in there because when I wore this, I didn't get as many compliments as I did with the Lacoste. But and then I have #8, and this one is a little bit spicy, more not really spicy, but like a little peppery almost, more for winter, I'll say. So if you find these, pick them up. But #1 is the one that got me the most compliments out of those three. This guy, Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme, or Extreme as some people like to say. I wore this to work one day, and I was coming down the back hallway, and I think I've done a review on this one and told this same story. Well, I was coming down the back hallway one morning. I just got to work at the hospital, and this thing leaves a scent trail like none other. I walked past the kitchen area, and one of my, I guess I can call her ex-girlfriend, works in the kitchen, and we dated for a short spell, but we still cool. She must have came out into the hallway after I passed through there, and she called my phone immediately and was like, "Did you just come through this back hallway? Because I can smell you. I know it's you." And I was like, yeah, I just bust out laughing. And I was like, yeah, that was me. And she was like, oh my God, whatever you got on, it smells so damn good. You got this whole hallway lit up back here. So I got a lot of other compliments after that one throughout the day. So Chanel Allure Homme Sport or Extreme, or Extreme as most people call it, pick that up. And this is the smaller bottle, 50 ml. I didn't think I needed to pay the price for 100 ml when this will last me just as well. I am at number 4. So number 4 is number 5. I should say, my bad. Yeah, number 5. So this is one I also did a review on. And this one is compared to Green Irish Tweed, but I have never smelled Green Irish Tweed. And I think I do have a subscriber that's supposed to be sending me a sample of Green Irish Tweed so I can check it out. But this one in itself smells amazing. It's slightly sweet. It's smooth. It's not like scratchy or screeching and screaming at you. It's a smooth sweetness. If you know what Green Irish Tweed smells like, then I guess this is what it's supposed to smell like. It has almost a cool water, or I forgot the other fragrance I have that kind of smells like this. But anyway, very nice fragrance. I wore this to the State Patrol office. I did a review on this one and told this same story. I was getting my license renewed. I walked into the building and 2 young ladies were sitting next to each other behind the counters. I guess, you know, they worked there. And they were going crazy saying that I was smelling so good. Why was I wearing that? Who I'm trying to impress? And then their supervisor came out of her office, closed door, and was like, who got my lobby smelling so good? And that was this. That was Tres Nuit by Armani. I think this is like $20 or $30 something if you order from Fragrance X. I don't know what kind of websites you guys use, eBay or Fragrance Net or whatever, but I ordered this one from Fragrance X. That's the website I tend to use most when I order online. So I then proceeded to leave the State Patrol office, and I was like, you know what? Since I got this kind of reaction from the State Patrol office, let me see what's up at the hospital. And I went to the hospital, and same thing. I walked into the 5th floor St. Simon's side nurses station, and them women were going crazy. They wanted to know what I had on, where I got it from, how much it cost. I actually gave one lady my channel, the link to my channel on YouTube here, and I don't know if she subscribed or not. You know, most people are bullshitters. They say they're gonna do something and they never do it. But whether she did or not, this is still a great fragrance. If you don't have this one, or if you have Green Irish Tweed, then you don't need this one. But if you don't have Green Irish Tweed, then I think you should pick this one up. It's pretty inexpensive. We don't use the word cheap around here anymore. Pretty inexpensive, and I think it's well worth the money. Number 4. I've done a review on this one also. I tend to talk about this a lot, even when I talk about any other Bulgari fragrance. This one got the craziest reaction. I told this story before. I walked through, me and a co-worker walked through the CCU unit on the 4th floor of the hospital. And we didn't go all the way through. We walked in, we turned around and came back. I think we was doing something up there. I can't remember what it was, but 2 of the nurses stopped my friend, because when we was going back through the crossover hallway, I was way ahead of him. And they stopped him and was like, which one of y'all smells so good? So he was like, oh, that's him. So they come running down there where I was at, and it was like, anytime you want to come walking through here smelling like that, you can. And so that was so weird, but at the same time such a sexy turn on, that women thought that this was a sexy ass fragrance. And ever since then, this has been spoken of highly by me. I don't care what other people think about this fragrance. If they think anything less of it, oh well. Don't buy it. More for me, because I definitely will take more of this any day, especially getting compliments like that. Bulgari Aquamarine. Number 3. Surprisingly, you guys are probably not going to agree with where I have this at on my list, but this still falls in the top 5, which is number 3 here. And I thought I had the highest level of respect for this fragrance. I could not afford Creed, or I'm not gonna say I can't afford it. I refuse to buy it just for the price. So that will appease anybody who thinks that I can't afford Creed Aventus or whatever. Then I'll just say I won't pay that price for it. How about that? Well, this is the next best thing to me, and I know there are many other fragrances, Pineapple Vintage and X-Batch and all that other stuff that's out there, Insurrection Pure 2 and all that. Well, Club de Nuit Intense Man is probably not a direct clone because it doesn't smell identical to Creed Aventus. I've smelled several different batches of Aventus. The dry down smells the closest, not the opening, because this has like lemon in it. And Aventus has pineapple, but this thing projects like crazy. For some strange reason, everybody else complains that theirs don't project and theirs don't perform. Mine does. I gave you guys the batch code off of this, or the actual date off of it. This is a 2018 version, so I don't know what the problem is. This is the first and only bottle I have ever purchased from Fragrance X. Somebody else had sent me in a trade another bottle of this, which it was weaker, and I ended up sending it to another subscriber. He bought it from me and he still said it was weak. So this one in particular is a beast. This lasts on my shirt. If I spray my shirt, it will last for a week. Even after washing it, it'll still be on there. This thing projects like crazy. It lasts 8+ hours easy. And every time I wore this, I got compliments. Yes, I know that this is on the wrong side, so don't give me no shit about it. I don't give a damn what that specifies to you guys, even though people say it's supposed to be straight down. Whatever the case may be, this shit is a monster. That's Club de Nuit Intense Man. Number 2. This one, I actually did not purchase for myself. Somebody else. Matter of fact, the young lady that I used to date that ran out and called my phone and said I walked through the hallway and I had it. She smelled it on in the hallway. She bought this. She actually bought this one, and she bought me something else. Mont Blanc Legend. That's what it was. She bought me. Not the one I have now, because I sold or traded that one, but I got a small bottle of it now. But she bought this one, and this came from Belk's, and this is Giorgio Armani Aqua DG Absolute. And I smelled this one before she bought it, and this shit is crazy great smelling. It's kind of sweet. I'm not sure of all the notes that are in it, but I actually wore this to a little club slash restaurant, bar, whatever, called the Jerk Shack here. It's right around the corner. And one of my friends, I met her there that specific night, and I walked in, me and my sister and one of her friends, and it was a group of young ladies standing at the door, just inside the door. And I guess when I passed by, they smelled me, and they were watching me all night. Well, when I got ready to leave, it just started drizzling. It was starting to rain outside, and as I was walking, I was off the sidewalk. I felt somebody grab me by my arm and pull me back up on the curb on the sidewalk, and she just was like right up on me and was like, "Oh, you smell so good." And she asked me what I had on, and ever since that day, me and her been cool as hell. So I actually was supposed to speak at some kind of convention she was having, and I think I ended up having to go out of town or something that weekend, so I missed the date. But she wanted me to come bring some fragrances with me and talk to the women. It was a women's convention, I think it was. And she wanted me to talk to the women, the ladies, about colognes and stuff like that. And if, you know, they want to purchase something for a husband or a boyfriend or whatever, then what will be good and what's not good and stuff like that. And, you know, how to check for good fragrances and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully when she does it again, I'll be able to speak at the next one. But this shit is a banger. This is Aqua DG, Giorgio Armani's Absolute. If you don't have it, pick it up. I'm not sure what the price is on this now. It's been out for a little while, so check around, see if you can find this for a decent price. This is a 75 ml bottle, so, and you can tell I haven't worn it that much. I've worn it probably twice. That's about all I used out of it. I try to save my good shit. And at the #1 spot is the fragrance that I actually gave or did a trade, I think, with somebody, one of my subscribers. It is Bora Bora by Liz Claiborne. When I wore Bora Bora to work, I actually thought I was going to get molested that day. And I said this in another video. Every time I talk about Bora Bora, I don't know what it is that's in that fragrance that drives women crazy. That shit was crazy. I mean, every single female that passed me in the hallway smelled that and loved it. All of them. There wasn't one person I didn't pass that particular day that didn't tell me I smelled good with that. It's not overpowering with the sweetness. It projects like crazy. It lasts damn near all day. It has the most beautiful fragrance I have ever smelled in an inexpensive fragrance, period. If you don't have it, pick it up, guys. It's pretty cheap. You can find it within the $12 to $20 mark, depending on where you get it from. Ross is usually where I see it the most. You probably can't order it online and find it, but it's so inexpensive. If you see it somewhere, just pick it up. I promise you, you won't regret it, unless you just don't like sweet fragrances. Then that something must be wrong with your nose. But women love those fragrances, and even ones like Versace Man Eau Fresh. I think it's the starfruit note that's in that gives it kind of this off-putting Raid roach spray type smell off of my skin. Everybody around me, when I wear that fragrance, and I could have thrown that in there, but I didn't. Every time I wear that one, everybody says I smell good, but I walk around thinking I'm smelling like roach spray all day. And I hate the fact that I get that note. Like, I don't know what it is that gives it that off-putting scent to me. Like I just stood and sprayed Raid roach spray all over me. Which, I'm going to end this video with something funny. Speaking of roach spray, I have an uncle that is younger than me. It's my mother's brother. And he used to come here, well, we used to come here for the summer. We were raised by our grandparents, me and my sister. And my mom was here where we live now, and she was in Job Corps at the time. So we used to pop up here. We used to pop up here, during the summer just to visit our mother, you know, come hang out, meet new people, friends, stuff like that. And, you know, we go back to Alabama. Roll Tide. So, one year we came here, my uncle came with us. And, you know, we were taking showers and stuff like that. So I got out. Either he went first or I went first, whichever one it was. The can of deodorant spray, you know, the aerosol can, that's what we used to use back in the day. That and Tussie. If you remember Tussie, they used to come in the little container. You screw the top off and you had to stick your finger in there and rub it under your arms. Well, we used to use that too. So in the windowsill where the shower is, it was the aerosol deodorant spray, can of roach spray, and like some hairspray or something. that was in the window. So my uncle, I guess he was kind of discombobulated or had soap in his eyes still or whatever. He wasn't paying attention. Instead of reaching for the aerosol deodorant spray, he grabbed the damn can of roach spray. And when he sprayed that shit under his arms, all you heard was him screaming in the bathroom. And we come running in there and he butt ass naked. And he got roach spray under his arms and he can't put his arms down. And we got to turn the shower back on and he had to wash the stuff from underneath his arms. So that was so funny, man. I remember that very vividly. But that's my list, guys. If anybody wants to know anything more about any of the fragrances I just talked about, y'all know what to do. Hit me up in the comment section. If we are friends on Facebook, then you can always message me. Y'all know I always respond back. Email me if you don't have my email number, my email address. It is KCROOK697@gmail.com. Once again, it is KCROOK697@gmail.com. I don't like a lot of emails because for some reason they come a lot slower. And so I would much rather people message me. So if you can find me on Facebook, my name is Keith Crook, KEITHCROOK. I'll have on all white, and in the background you'll see a picture of my two kids, my son and my daughter, right behind me. If you do send me a friend request, please message me at the same time and let me know, hey, I'm a subscriber to your channel, I'm sending you a friend request, and then I'll accept it. Because if you just send me a friend request and I go through your page and I don't know you, or something don't look interesting on your page, or you look like you don't have much content, I'm not going to accept it. So let me know who you are and I will accept it. A lot of people can vouch for that. I talk to people almost all day, every day, throughout the day. People send me videos. They video chat with me when they're in stores looking at fragrances. If you want to know something, if you want to trade something, if you want to buy something, let me know. And guys, I haven't forgotten, people have been looking for a list of fragrances I have for sale or for trade. I will put up a video in a few minutes. I'm just going to pull some stuff out of the box that I have and show it to you guys. And if anybody's interested, because I'm not finna sit and write down a whole list, and I got a big box of stuff over there. I'm not going through all that stuff and writing all that stuff down. I hate writing. So I'm going to just show you some of the stuff I have, and if you see something you're interested, you can write it down and hit me back and let me know if you want to pay for something or if you want to trade for something. With that being said, I'm at 42 minutes, going on 43 minutes. I think that's long enough. Your boy is out. Peace.